I want to start with our short game, and we're going to talk about bunker play. Right now we're doing greenside bunker. We're going to have a conversation here at Blythefield Country Club. We have a lot of new looks here after putting over $3 million into the renovations of our facility, home of the Meyer LPGA Classic. But now we have a different set of variables for our members to deal with. So we're going to talk about the basics of our bunker play. As always, we have the front view camera, and I also have the back view camera. And if you notice this front flag here, if I was taking my normal stance for a full shot outside of the bunker, we'd want our body to be parallel to our target line. So we have our two lines representing those parallel lines. But with our bunker play, we don't want to be square. I know there's a lot of conversation about people having the club face square and body square and hitting behind the ball and working through the shot and having some success with that. I don't know if I believe in that. A lot of people that I've dealt with that do that, they tend to shank it off the hosel, and there's not a lot of room for error there. However, golf is a specific sport to the individual, so if you're having success with a particular skill or something that you don't see me, necessarily doing here, it's okay as long as you feel comfortable and feel that you can take that out to the golf course. But what we do want to do, keeping our target line straight, we want to feel like our body is open to that line, okay? So our target line is this way, club will still be pointed that way with an open club face, but our body is going to be open to that line and aimed way left of that target line, okay? Now, in relation to entering and making contact, I always like my students to imagine a circle around the golf ball, and we're trying to enter in on the back end of that circle, hitting down underneath the sand and allowing the sand to carry the ball up, and making sure that after impact that our hands get up high to ensure that we're getting all the way through that shot. This is where we're not hitting the ball specifically, we're hitting the sand underneath the ball, and hopefully that carries the ball up towards our target, okay? So we're gonna hit a couple shots here. We'll get our stance open, the club face is open, which is actually pointing closer to the actual flag with our body being left of it. And my goal here is to really accelerate through that sand and to make sure I enter on the back end of that circle and follow all the way through. So let's go ahead and hit a shot here. You can see my body squatting because we don't need a lot of body. We want a nice stable base. Hands got nice and high, and it came out pretty good. So you see those hands are nice and high, okay? And what took the sand out, or the ball out? The sand took it out, okay? You may have noticed there was a sound that we heard when we hit that ball. There was a poof. That's evidence of acceleration through the shot, and we really want to do that, especially with the fact that we're hitting the sand behind the ball, okay? So let's go ahead and pull over another one here. I'm using my sand wedge, of course, for a trickier shot, something that may be, a little closer. I might want to use a more lofted club, like my 60 degree. But I do feel like my sand wedge, it gives me a little more room for error. And this is something that will ensure that I get on the green. And that's sort of what I talk to my members here at Blythefield about. First step, get it out of here and get it on the green. If we get it on the green, we're most likely to have two putts and we won't have our score get higher. But if we don't get it out and it stays in here, then we have a whole different situation and problem there, okay? So once again, we're going to draw our circle around the ball, enter in on the back side of it. Club face will be open and pointing at the target, and body is aimed to the right. Once again, I'm squatting because we don't need a lot of body for this short shot, and we want to have stability. So stance is open. We're going to enter in the back end of the circle again. And then we have our high finish. And once again, we heard that poof sound when we came out of there. Okay, so that's the basics for sand shots. Thinking about your stance being open, club face being open. We want to make a circle around the ball, clear the sand out around that circle, and it carries the ball out. And I like for you to have the higher finish because it ensures that you get your hands all the way through that shot. Now there's one variation on the finish. For some of us with our full swings, a lot of us like to swipe our hands across, and by extending our arms up, we sort of lose connection, or we're not really releasing the club right, and we're not getting a good effect and good acceleration and energy into the golf ball. In those instances, there's something that I might recommend different for those that have trouble getting the finish up higher and seeing the ball sort of project out. We'll put it back here. I'd like you to think about setting up the same exact way, bodies open, club faces open and pointed at the target. But I like you to think about accelerating through and finishing lower with your hands. Not in the sand, but lower. A lot of times that'll at least ensure that you'll accelerate through, and if we hit the sand with that, the ball will hop up the same way in a more traditional sand shot, and it might be something to think about there, okay? So once again, we're gonna kind of same setup, bodies open, club faces open, but now instead of going all the way up with our finish, we're just gonna kind of finish with a lower finish in the sand, but a lot of acceleration still. So a little bit lower finish, and that ball shot out of there, okay? It's a way to add acceleration without compromising anything else with the traditional setup, all right? So think about that, and we're gonna get into some more videos, a long bunker video, and some chipping videos, and then we're gonna get into full swing a little bit later.